Hi guys, thank you so much for coming back to my channel. We are here in the Babe Cave, and today I'm going to do the final look for the NCAA March Madness. So we were actually able to get two teams that didn't have the exact same colors, so I'm super excited to do this eye look for you today. As you can tell, I've already done all of my face makeup, and I have already done all of my eye prep work. And of course I have the Jeffree Star Blue Blood palette today. He's going to help us with some of our navies. And then I have, of course, the James Charles Morphe palette, which is going to help us with blues, reds, neutrals, any other thing else that we might want. And then I also have chosen two of the Jeffree Star Blue Blood collection lipsticks in the color Drug Lord and in the shade Titanic. So if you want to see these eye looks that are themed after Virginia and Texas Tech, then keep watching. So I'm going to start with my right eye, and I'm going to do my right side for Virginia. So it will be navy and orange. So what I'm going to actually do first is go into this Jeffree Star Blue Blood palette, and I'm actually going to start out with the shade Celebrity Skin. And with that Celebrity Skin, I'm just going to take a nice fluffy brush. I'm going to go straight in, get it right on the tip of the brush, and I'm going to just pop that right there on the crease. And I am just using the most extreme, very, very lightest, super, super, super light touch with this. I'm just taking this little fluffy brush and I'm going to go straight into I'm Cold, just like I did before, just tapping it about 3 times. I'm going to knock off my excess, and I'm going to go right in straight with a really light touch. Again, I want to be really, really light right here. And I want to go just in to that crease where we just put down that crease color. This is going to just be sort of a transition, sort of blending shade. Now I'm going to go back with that first brush that I had that Celebrity Skin shade on it. And I'm just going to use the edge of it just right above, just to sort of blend that light blue out and give this more of a blown out look. All right, now that we have laid that color down, I definitely think that I want to go in with a little bit of the shade Deceased. So I'm going to use this tapered brush by Real Techniques, and I'm going to go straight into Deceased, getting it on the tip of that taper of that brush just a couple of times, knock off my excess, and I'm going to go just under that first shade or that second shade that we put in there, just to start darkening everything up. The next thing that I want to do is actually go back with that lighter blue shade that I had before with no more product on the brush. I'm just using this brush just to blend those two colors together. And then again, I'm going to go back with that Celebrity Skin brush and just rub really lightly above everything just to blend it all a little more. All right, the next color that I'm going to go in with is going to be Power. Now this one is a matte shade and it's more of a gray, and we want to put this more right in this corner here. This is a detailer brush from Real Techniques, and I'm going to go in sort of on the flat side of this brush, more on the point into that shade Power. I'm going to knock it off And then I'm gonna go just below where I put that other shade, starting sort of in the outer corner and dragging it to the center of the eye. Then we're going to go back in with that brush that we used for Deceased and not adding any more product, but we're just going to go right along the edges, again, just to blend out. And then back again with the shade that had, or with the brush that had I'm Cold. And then last, we're going to hit that Celebrity Skin one more time. Now, with that same brush on the opposite flat side, I'm going to go into Undertaker, and I'm going to get some of that on there, and I'm going to do basically the same thing that I did with Power. I'm just really more patting this in to the inner part of that V. So I'm just pulling this color out some and kind of going over Power because this one is definitely more of a navy, and the navy is the actual color that we are wanting. But I liked having those blues laid down first because it just helps to kind of intensify everything. I'm just using that flat side of that brush and just sort of pushing that color around. I'm not going back into the color. I'm just using what's already on my brush and what's already on my eye. So I'm just using those other colors that we laid down to just help kind of blow everything out and really get this shade to fade out to a light navy. All right, so the next thing we're gonna do is, you guessed it, we're gonna go right back in with all of those brushes and all of those colors that we used, and just use those brushes just to really blend everything together and make everything look really nice and seamless. I'm going to start dragging this into the lower lash line. All right, now I'm just going to take some of that Undertaker shade and put a little bit of it right up next to the lash line, right, really just touching the lashes. Okay, the next thing I'm gonna do is go in with an even smaller little detail brush, and I'm gonna go into the shade Ocean Ice. And I am going to get a little bit on my brush, and then I'm going to grab my Wet n Wild Photo Focus Matte Finish Setting Spray, give it a little quick spritz, and then I'm going to tap this right on this lid just to sort of punch up that color. All right, now that we've got that down, let's go in with some more Undertaker right here, just above it, just because I feel like Undertaker kind of got lost a little bit in the blending, and I just want to punch him back up. Now I'm going to go back in with the one that I had the I'm Cold shade on, and I'm just going to run it under that lower lash line just to sort of blend things out, and then I'm going to grab that Celebrity Skin brush and I'm going to do the same thing. All right, I want to blend this out here just a little better as well. So I'm just gonna very lightly take that brush that was in I'm Cold and just very, very, very carefully hit it just a little bit on that corner. And you can see how that sort of blended and sort of blew that out a little bit more. We're definitely getting like a hard line here that I want to get rid of. So I'm just using that brush just to kind of like almost stipple that line out. When we did that, we lost a little bit of the ocean ice here in the corner. So we're going to go back and just put that right back in there. Okay, so because I'm having such a hard time getting that to stick in the corner right there because my eye keeps watering, I am going to take a Q-tip and dry it off really, really well. Just get that good and dry. And now that I have a huge skin-colored patch there, I'm going to use some of this Titanic liquid lipstick. And I am going to plop that right on top of that spot. Okay, so that looks like that has really done the trick. So now I want to go back in and just really pack some color back into this look. Before I do that, I'm going to put a little more setting powder on. Okay, so now that I've got that wing done and my eye is not watering like crazy and taking everything off, I'm going to go back in and I'm going to fill in that little gap that you see there, and I'm going to fill in this right here. So I'm just going to take that brush that had the I'm Cold on it, and I'm just going to barely go right up against that wing. All right, the next thing we're gonna do is go back into Celebrity Skin and bring that Celebrity Skin right up against that line. And I'm gonna grab a little stiff brush that doesn't have any product on it at all. And I'm just going to sort of push that Celebrity Skin right in there. I'm actually going to grab a little bit of Celebrity Skin right on the edge of this brush and just push it right there so that it does blend right out with that blue. And then right under that, I'm just going to grab a little bit of Wealthy and I'm just going to pop that right under it. Then I'm going to go back in with that brush that had I'm Cold on it, and I'm just going to blend a little more. Let's go in and touch up some more of that ocean ice. it, and now we're going to fill in this gap that's right here with the with Undertaker. And then you guessed it, we're going to go back into Deceased. Now, for the upper portion of that eyebrow, I'm going to grab a stiff little packer brush, and I'm going to go into the shade Wealthy, and I'm just going to pop that right here above, just under the brow. And then I'm actually going to grab some more of that, and I'm going to go right here just to cut this out and define this a little more, just to make this a little more sharp. And we will perfect that with the highlighter in a minute. I'm going to go into that brush that had Wealthy on it, and I'm going to grab just a little bit of Cullinan right on the tip of this here. Knock that out, and I'm just going to put Cullinan right in the arch of the eyebrow, just to give it a little spot to sort of catch light in. Now, one more thing I want to do, just because this edge isn't as sharp as I would like it, is I'm going to go back in with my little tiny liner brush. I'm going to grab some more of that Liquid Lip shade Titanic, and I am going to take it and I'm going to go right along where that is sort of wonky looking right there and just make it look really sharp. Now that's looking good and dark and blue and smoky. So because Virginia Tech is blue and orange, we're gonna need to put a little bit of orange in there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually going to take a little packer brush again, and I'm going to go into the shade, still in the Blue Blood palette, I'm gonna go into the shade Priceless. I'm gonna get it on the flat edge of my brush, and I'm going to just start really packing it right on this inside part of the eyelid, from the bottom of the lash line all the way up to the brow line, dragging it sort of over into that blue. So I'm working from this inside over. And this is a really good shade for this because it's a very peachy shade and it's got a very good orangey undertone to it, and it's going to really help everything kind of just start to fade together. And I'm gonna go ahead and hit, and I'm gonna go ahead and even drag this right under the eye, right in that corner. So I'm gonna go back into the Blue Blood palette, and I'm going to grab some Cullinan on this flat packer brush, and I am going to pack it right on top of my lid. Push it right up to the brow bone, and then just drag over. Now I'm gonna go back into the James Charles palette. I'm gonna go into the shade Flashback with the opposite side of that same little packer brush, and I'm going to put it right over Drug Lord. Now we're gonna start with the reds. So the first thing I'm gonna do with the reds is I'm gonna go into this Shan XO palette, and I am going to go into the shade Stalker. This right here. It's sort of like a deep red burgundy shade. So I'm gonna just get some of it on the tip of like a little pencil packer crease brush, and I'm gonna go right into this crease in inner corner. All right, so I'm just working this in, just layering it up. And then I'm gonna start and just drag it a little bit under the eye. All right, now that we have that on, we are going to go back to the James Charles palette, and we are going to first go into the shade You're Kidding, which is the really, really bright red shade in the palette. I'm going to use the same brush that I was just in that sort of burgundy color with, and I'm just going to get it right on the tip of the brush. And I'm going to do the same thing that I just did with that other shade. So now I'm going to take this same brush after I've knocked everything I can get out of it, and I'm just going to start right here on this line, and I'm just going to go in little circles just to start blending that into the white. And then I'm going to go back in with my brush that has the white on it. Let's see, where is it? And I'm going to put it here and just drag over, just like I was doing before, just to bring Cullinan and Flashback into that red, so that it goes from red to white. And this here in the middle doesn't necessarily look pink, but it's not, you know, it has a good, nice fade. So the next thing that I'm going to do is I think I want to go into the shade Literally. And I'm going to use that same brush that has You're Kidding on it. And I'm just going to go in with the tip into Literally. And I'm going to put Literally right here in this inner corner. And then I go back into You're Kidding and sort of buff it right there in the center of the lid all the way up. And then I'm going to grab that brush that has a little flashback on it, start over here, and I'm just going to push that flashback right into the red. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this all the way over. And I'm actually going to even run it just right up the side. And then I'm going to grab that brush that doesn't have anything on it, and I'm just going to sort of blend this in with my concealer and foundation. I'm going to take that brush that has Celebrity Skin on it, and I'm going to work it right under that line. And then we're going to go back in with the brush that we used in Ring Light, and we're going to actually grab a little bit of Ring Light, and we're going to pop that right here on this inner corner. And then we're going to do the same thing we did over there, over here, and we're going to drag a little Ring Light into the red. And then we're going to flip the brush, and we're going to drag a little Ring Light from the red into the white. And I'm going to take some Unique Splash liquid lipstick in the shade Stubborn, and I'm going to get some of that on this brush. Then I'm going to take this and I'm going to use it to go right along this line of Drug Lord. And as I get closer into the eye, I'm going to extend that line, and I'm going to go right down all the way to the inner corner, and then I'm going to come up and I'm going to go over and meet Drug Lord. All right, and now that that is done, I'm just going to grab that brush that has You're Kidding on it, and I'm just going to add just a little bit more color right there. Okay, so now that I've finished that line, I'm going to go ahead and clean all this up and pop a lash on this side, and I'll be right back. All right, guys, here we are with the completed look. With Virginia on the right, Texas Tech on the left, and I'm really looking forward to watching the game with my family and seeing who the men's NCAA 2019 basketball champions are. So if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. Tell me who you're rooting for in the comments. You can always find me here on YouTube. I upload on Tuesdays and Fridays, and sometimes I throw in the occasional video in between. So make sure that you click the bell icon and click subscribe so that you get notifications every time I upload. Also, you can find me on Instagram at SouthernBelleBeauty06, in the Facebook group Southern Belle Beauty, and on Twitter at Marble City Mama. I hope that you guys really enjoyed this video. I'll see you in the next one, and as always, love you, mean it.